Hello and welcome back to another episode of Isolation Football, episode 2. I'm not on my own this time, I'm joined by two guests, Ollie and Cam.
Hello.
Hello.
I just want to say thank you so much for the support on the previous episode. I'm really overwhelmed by the views we got in such a small space of time. So as promised, episode 2. But we're looking at different topics in a more detailed aspect this time. Boys, the reason we obviously started this podcast was because of the coronavirus and obviously the impact it's had. So we want to give a bit back in terms of football and sport. There's rumours that when the football returns, the Premier League, what we're focusing on especially, all games will be played behind closed doors, but all games will be on TV. So it's a bit of a balanced one because there's going to be no fans, but if you're at home and if you're an armchair fan, as people call them, you're going to see every game. What's your take on that?
Well, Ollie, I'll go first. I think I think games, Premier League games especially, they need to rely on the atmosphere because it's what makes the Prem special. Like the atmosphere from not even just the home fans but the away fans, because it's what fuels a game. It fuels all the players. So behind closed doors, you're not going to get that. But at the same time, it's still being played, and the games do need to be played because I think the season needs to be completed. It can't just not be cancelled, and whether it's decided with how it stands or whether it's just based on last season, I don't think it'll work. But I think behind closed doors needs to happen because games need to be played, and at the end of the day, you're still watching your team, and that's what matters at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, personally, I think it's the best way to do it because obviously Liverpool, as much as we hate to see it, they're outright in front, aren't they? No one's catching them. And I feel like, I know like people are saying, oh, but they haven't won it yet. They haven't mathematically won it. I'm sorry, any human should know they deserve this title this season. And but as well, I feel like it's going to be televised as well, the games that are behind closed doors. So there's still that element for the fans to enjoy the game.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see when teams do come back and if games are played behind closed doors, you drop in form from different teams, maybe Liverpool, maybe City, maybe the top four, because they haven't got that 12th man, as you say, behind you. And I think I agree. I think teams need fans. They need that 12th man. However, it's better than no football at all behind closed doors. If we get to watch it on our TVs, it's better than no football at all. I think everyone's underestimated the fact that how hard it is football being postponed and suspended. Because when I saw Serie A or Serie A be postponed, I thought it's never going to happen, so it's never going to happen. And when it did, that first weekend I was lost. I didn't know what the hell to do. So, is it better than no football at all?
Yeah, I think I'd say
Definitely.
It was because I mean, every football fan at the moment is actually struggling because football's a way it's a passion for many people, so they can either play it or watch it, but whatever, at the end of the day we all love football and it's what helps us really. And let's be honest, this last week or two without football's probably been the most hardest time to have because not even international football is just there's no entertainment. So yeah,
you see just 1 week of being no football, you can see the effect it's had straight away. I think they need to bring it back, definitely.
Yeah, what I said about international football as well, obviously the Euros have been cancelled, postponed in the summer. It has hinted that not hinted, there is the Premier League will play the season out indefinitely. They have said that. Obviously, we've shown it is going to be played out throughout the summer where the Euros are meant to be playing. So it is going to be back, but with fans, without fans, we don't know. But I've heard a few people on Twitter scrolling through my timeline, and people are saying they want football back. And those were the same people who weeks previously were saying we don't want football at all. We would rather take games suspended than behind closed doors. Like Guardiola, he's come out and said it. I think Jurgen Klopp's come out and said it. They'd rather have games suspended than play behind closed doors. But I think if you go to them now and you say to them, would you take it back? I think 100% they'd have football back. Now, so also pretty much linking on to that, the season's going to be played out. The Premier League have said the season will be played out, definitely. Have they shot themselves in the foot a bit there? Because we don't know how long this virus is going to last for. We've literally, as of tonight, as we're recording this, we've just been told that the country's going on lockdown for 3 weeks minimum. So, will there be time to continue the season? Well, obviously, next season is going to be impacted as well. Have they shot themselves in the foot by coming out and saying that the season will definitely be played?
Well, I mean, I think you keep the season going until I think it will eventually affect next season, because you don't want to mess with next season, because it's going to affect like the transfer window. You don't know how we're gonna work that with like the deadlines and stuff like that, and
contracts as well. Yeah,
exactly. So it's just very dependent on how long we are on lockdown for, because it's at least 3 weeks. At the end of the day, it could be more, depending on how the virus will either get worse or get better. But I think it really depends on what'll happen in the next few weeks, I think.
For me, though, that like what they said, 31st of April, football might be back, like early as that. I feel like if they bring it back then there's more than enough time to play the season out. Like, think how long the summer break is, and how long pre-season goes. So I think they're fine. I think it's just going to feel weird because it's not being played at the same time.
Yeah, it's going to be the minimum though of the 31st of April. There's also rumours that they're going to bring it on the 1st of June. We just don't know, and we probably won't know until really a few weeks before, because no one knows how long this is going to go on for. It could be in 3 weeks' time, and this lockdown period's finished. We could all be playing out in the street again and going to pubs and watching football in the ground or on TV. Or in 3 months' time, we could still be sat here in lockdown with no football in the same spot. Insane. Yeah. So I really think the Premier League have shit out a bit there, to be honest, because I just don't. They've basically promised that football's going to be back. This season will be back. It could be September, October, and that is really going to impact next season. Either way, I did actually ask you boys to come up with how you think the rest of the season should be played out. I'll go through what I think first. I think the season should just be cancelled, null and void, which means no winner, no relegation. However, I think Leeds and West Brom should come up. I think next season should be a 22-team league. Start fresh in August, hopefully. You should hope that things will be better by then. Start fresh in August. And to make sure all games are played, take away the Carabao Cup. Play Premier League fixtures midweek. We don't have to extend the season that way because the Carabao Cup is a tin pot cup. Other managers complain about the fixture clashes. No one likes Carabao Cup. I don't like it. Ollie, you're a City fan. You've won it 3 years in the pouch. You'll be able to tell me more on that if you like it or not. I don't. David Moyes just turned around and said that he wants to turn it into a British Cup. You've heard other managers complain about it. Just get rid of it. Get rid of the cup completely. So, and that's how I do it, and have 22 teams in the league with Leeds and West Brom next season. But what do you boys think?
Well, I mean, I think the season can only go on for so long, because I believe if the season will last longer, like if the last game's not played before end of June, let's say, I think they should just declare it null and void. I think it should be as it stands. However, I do think there should be similar to what the Championship do, like playoffs, but for like Champions League spots between maybe the top 6 or the top 8.
Yeah, well, good idea.
Because good idea. I think as it stands isn't a fair reflection on Champions League spots, because for example, United haven't got the hardest games left in the season, whereas other teams like contending with them, such as like a Chelsea or an Arsenal, maybe not Arsenal, but a Leicester,
Do you not think, like, if you've got time to do a playoff for the Champions League spot, then you've got time to finish the season?
Well, that's the
even
thing.
If that does include midweek games.
Exactly. It's very dependent on how long they can do this for.
There's about 9 or 10 Premier League games left.
Something like that.
Surely that can't be played over 10 weeks. Surely it's got to be 2 weeks, 3 weeks a game, 3 games a week. Sorry, because if you, even 10 weeks from now, you go in right into June, really. There, aren't you? 10 weeks from now. So and they're not even talking about even resuming it until June. So, like I say, I think like you said, null and void, or that playoff. I think it's a really good idea. Ollie, what do you think?
I don't know. I personally am a fan of what they're doing with, like, trying to keep it going until, like, as long as they can, because I feel like it's some classic null and void. I think it's unfair on the teams like Sheffield United, Leicester, who fought for them spots in the league table.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously, main one, Liverpool, deserving the league, without a doubt. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
But then also, another thing with that being it null and void, the Championship have said, haven't they, that they're going to, like, sue the Premier League if that happens, because obviously they have teams that deserve to go up.
Oh yeah, of course.
Teams in the Premier League that deserve to go down. So, personally, I think they just need to do what they can to try and keep the season going.
Yeah, that's the problem. Whatever happens, if the season is ended, say tomorrow, as it stands, Liverpool are obviously going to take the trophy away with them. Now they're not going to be complaining, but the three in the bottom three at the moment, the Premier League have got a lot of questions to answer to those 3 teams who are going to be going down. Because I'm telling you now, if I'm who are the bottom 3 at the moment? It's
Norwich, Bournemouth, Villa.
I'd be fuming if I was one of those 3 teams, because you can have the argument, well, we were going to get out of there. We're going to get out there. You got to look at the way the Premier League. But if you do cancel the season null and void, those relegation teams aren't going to say anything. They've escaped one. But then you got questions from Liverpool that need to be answered. So in terms of like a business side of it, a financial side of it, you'd probably want to cancel the season null and void. Maybe bring Leeds and West Brom up still, but don't give Liverpool the title, because one complaint or one appeal is going to be better than 3 from the relegation teams. But I don't know how it works outside of business. But I think there has to be a cut-off when they're going to decide, because we can't be sat here in the middle of June and still don't have a clue what's going to happen.
This could change the Premier League football forever.
But I don't think that's a bad idea, because 28 years of Premier League football, it's been a 20-team league for 28 years. Why don't we have a change? I watch Super League and Rugby League, and they have 12 teams. And the way the winners, the playoff, is different every 2-3 years, and it keeps fans attracted. Why not mix it up a bit? Why not change it, bring 22 teams in, scrap the Carabao Cup? Because if I'm a fan, I'm sat there in Workhorse School on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm thinking, oh shit, Doncaster at home tonight in the Carabao Cup. You know what I mean?
But you've got to think about the European spot it opens up for teams. Like, and think about teams like say Everton. They're gonna say if they're, I don't know, might not get Europa League spot in the table. They're gonna want the Carabao Cup to try and get that Europa League spot for themselves.
Yeah. I just think the Carabao Cup is a shit FA Cup. I really don't like it. It just causes fixture build up in unnecessary games that don't need to be there, and it doesn't even get everyone involved. It's just obviously the Football League, who, let's be honest, don't really care about the League 1, League 2 after what we've seen with Bolton and Bury at the start of the season. So why not just take it away? Keep the FA Cup. You can't get rid of the FA Cup. It's so prestige. But I really do think Leeds and West Brom, they're not two bottom of the Championship teams. They're two quality sides who I think can well compete in the Premier League. With Leeds, the history they've got, I think they've not been in the top flight for years, but I think with Bielsa and a couple of the players, a few of the players they've got, they can well compete. So I think why not? Why not change it?
And let's not forget the Championship although it's not the top division, it's still such a competitive league.
100%.
It's competitive than most top flight divisions in other countries, so you've got to argue that point as well. It's not going to take away the entertainment value of Premier League football. It's still going to be there, and if anything, it's going to make it more entertaining because games are going to be even more unpredictable as they are now. So it's going to be better to watch as a football fan.
Yeah, 100%. With the Championship, like I say, I prefer sometimes if there's a 12:30 on BT on a Premier League game, for example, Bournemouth Burnley, I'd rather watch Leeds and Middlesbrough on Sky.
Especially towards the end of the season.
100%. Yeah, I think the playoffs, they've had some great moments that I've probably gone unnoticed in football, to be honest, because it's not the top flight in English football. But like Cam said there, it is probably better quality, better paced, more competitive than the likes of Ligue 1 or some of the other European top flight divisions. But obviously, moving on from off the negative side, more of the fun side that I know probably some of you would have tuned in for is the bit that I'm most looking forward to as well. Because obviously, I don't know what these two have put, so it'll be really interesting to share some ideas. Is the team of the season and awards prediction. So obviously we've had a large chunk of the season been played, haven't we, so far?
Yeah.
So we have got a good feel like who's going to make that team of the season. We've also gone for some awards as well, and we'll get to them momentarily. But at the moment, we're going to concentrate on the team of the season. We've all agreed on a 4-3-3 formation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's start keepers. Ollie, you go first.
Well, I think personally for me, it's an absolute no-brainer. You've got to look at where they are in the league, what he's been doing for them. It's Dean Henderson. It's got to be. Alisson, Ederson, De Gea, the top keepers in the Prem, mistakes central this season.
Yeah.
Dean Henderson, apart from the Liverpool game, when have you seen him make a mistake?
Oh, yeah.
He's been solid throughout the season.
Yeah, 100%. Cam?
For me, it's Dean Henderson, and I think he should be in top quality. Some of the outstanding, like the save he made against Salah at Anfield this season was awesome. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
it just excites me, the fact that he's a United boy. He's on loan at Sheffield, and I really hope we can keep on to him because, as much as I love De Gea, he's gonna have to be dropped soon because
at some point.
If Dean Henderson's performing like he is, De Gea, he's not going to be starting because Dean Henderson's at an absolute blind of a season.
I feel like De Gea needs that competition because obviously you've got Romero, but is he really a Premier League starting keeper? I feel like that'll benefit De Gea as well because you're like, oh shit, who's this behind me? He's trying to take my spot in the side.
Yeah.
No surprise who I've gone for. I've also gone for Dean Henderson. Like you say, United boy. I was about to ask that question. Next season, Henderson, De Gea. I'd go Henderson.
I think what I would go for and what I think Ole will go for is completely different, but I would want Dean Henderson. I think it's very dependent. It's just, although we've relied on De Gea so much, like in the last 6-7 years, and he's performed, he's been unreal, best keeper in the world for a long chunk of time. I think he's had the whole of last season to refresh ever since he made that mistake in the World Cup against Ronaldo Field. I think his confidence should just hit to an all-time bottom. So
it's not with De Gea. It's not a problem that's been going on for 2-3 months. It's 18 months, nearly 2 years now that he's been in this downward spiral.
Yeah.
I'm all Henderson next season, but if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't want to do that, I'd happily send him out on loan again for another year. I don't have a problem. The issue with me is if we ever sold him. If we decided to sell him, then I would be kicking off. I'll be knocking on Woodward's door or Solskjaer's door.
I think most United fans would, to be honest.
I'll be going to Carrington myself, and I'll be giving him a few words. Anyway, on to fullbacks. Cam, you start this time.
Well, right back, I think there's been a lot of breakthrough right backs this season, to be perfectly honest. But I think there's only one contender. I think it's Trent Alexander-Arnold. What he can do in a right back position is unheard of, especially at his age, and just the way he can control a game from a right back position, like against Atletico Madrid, as one of my mates said. He made such a good point. Like you wouldn't see that from a generic right back, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I think for me it's him. And left back, I think I'm going to go Robertson. I think Robertson had a better season last season, but I'm not taking anything away from him this season, because obviously every Liverpool player has worked the absolute socks off to be in the position that they are in this season. And he's definitely, I think him and Mane down that left-hand side, they're so dangerous, because you can always rely on Mane to work back and win the ball back, and you can always rely on Robertson to make them overlapping runs to get the crosses in the box. So I think it's got to be that pairing for me at fullback.
Yeah, Ollie?
For me, I've gone a bit controversial here. Like,
go on.
Yeah, Trent's been, obviously last season, no doubt it's him. This season, he's been good, but is he as good as he was last season?
Yeah.
Like,
you look at
the mistakes.
I know,
but that's who they rely on. If you look at a Liverpool team, you look at anyone in there, like say City, you're looking at De Bruyne. Liverpool, you're looking at Trent. But has he been where he was last season, this season? Obviously, he's got mistakes in, like, against Watford, costly one, putting him down 3-0. For me, I think it's between two, arguably three, because obviously I think three people have been better than Trent this season. I think it's Walker, Wan-Bissaka, Ricardo Pereira.
Yeah.
Yes, Pereira, that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
No, but for me, it's Wan-Bissaka. Why? His effect on that United defence, look at last season, leaking goals, stupid goals. This season, he has been absolutely solid. He's pocketed Mane, Sterling, all the best wingers this season. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's no-brainer him. Look at him compared to Trent. He's made no mistakes. Trent's been a bit iffy this season.
Yeah.
But he's still up there, Trent, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about your left back?
You can go, Cam. I'll let you go.
Yeah, left back, I said Robertson, then there's just...
Oh, shit, yeah. For me, it's an hard one, left back. I think, obviously, Robertson's there. Marcos Alonso has obviously been brilliant recently.
Yeah, recently. It's more recent than the past month or 2 months.
Yeah.
Talking about a whole season, you've...
Not being able to cement a spot in that starting lineup for Marcos Alonso, I don't think.
Let me tell you who else is a really good shout.
Go on.
Obviously, he's not been in the side as much as Robertson in Liverpool, but Bukayo Saka.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he's had a huge impact.
How good has he been this season?
Yeah, he's
been immense. But I don't know, it's Saka, Robertson, it's between them two. But overall season, when you look at it, I think it's got to be Robertson, just because of the sheer amount of games he's played over Saka.
Yeah.
Boys will bang on the same. Me and Cam still 3 out of 3. Me and Cam. I've gone for Trent and Robertson. Basically, you've covered all the reasons there. I can't really go into more on that. Yeah, I think they've been the standout ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
In terms of centre halves, I'm going to go first this time. You can't look past Van Dijk. I mentioned it in the podcast on Sunday that I released. He's the best. For me, he's the best player in the world. Forget defender, forget anything. He's the best player in the world. I think he's the best player in the world. I think he's got to be in there, my team in the season. Again, a bit like Trent, not been as good as he was last year, but still head and shoulders above every other centre half in the league. And then his partner in this team, I've gone for someone. It was a hard one. If you would have asked me about 4 or 5 months ago, I would have gone for Söyüncü. But it's been a bit weird because as Leicester have dipped, United have risen. So I've actually gone for his partner. I've gone for Harry Maguire. I think ever since Young left in January, and you've given Maguire the captaincy, but even before that, when he was given the captaincy in like little drip feeds in November, December, the way he stepped up for me as a centre half, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's taken him a few months to gel. I have no problem in that, but he is showing to be that £80 million defender that we've spent big bucks on. But it was between Harry Maguire and Söyüncü. But at the moment, fresh in my mind, Söyüncü and Leicester have dipped a bit, so I've gone for Maguire. Maguire. What about you boys?
Well, George, it's 5-5 for us. I've also gone Van Dijk and Maguire. I just think, but Van Dijk, like you said, you can't rule him out. He's the best centre back in the world and probably the best player in the world. He's made it a scare factor for strikers and wingers to run at him. Because when you watch teams play against Liverpool, you often see attackers running at Van Dijk's partner, whether it's Joe Gomez or it's Lovren or it's Matip, the weaker side of the centre half partnership. Not that it is weak, but obviously you're not getting past on that. And Harry Maguire, for me, you don't truly cherish a player, I don't think, until you lose him. And when he was injured for that period when we lost 3-1 to City in the Carabao Cup at Old Trafford, and we had Phil Jones at the back, I think that could have been a really different game if Harry Maguire was on the pitch that night. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, obviously, you might, if you're doing a Premier League team this season, for the next 3 years, you might as well just cement a spot for Van Dijk. He's going to be there.
Yeah.
There's no one that's going to be above him anytime soon. He's best centre-back in the world. Right, enough's been said about him. He's world class. Even if they have had a few poor results recently, but he's still there. He's got to be on it. But for the other centre back, and between two, obviously Maguire is there. But I think you've got to mention Fernandinho.
Yeah,
35 years of age. He's a defensive midfielder, and he's gone into that centre back role, and he looks like he's played there for 10 years. He's been unreal. And obviously, City's results and clean sheets, they haven't done it justice. But if you watch him, Jamie Carragher goes on and on about how good he is. So for me, it's Fernandinho. Maguire's been good, but obviously start of the season wasn't. I agree. Wasn't his strongest point, was it? He's only just gone good recently, but for me, it's Fernandinho. But obviously, Maguire's close behind.
Yeah, of course. Right, on to the midfielders. We've all gone for a central defensive midfielder and two quite attacking ones. So we'll start on the CDM. Start off with Cam. Do you want to go first?
I think early on in the season would have been unpopular. I think now it's a very popular opinion now that B was missing him for a few games. Jordan Henderson, for me, he's been unreal this season. I think he's such a good character to have in that pitch. He's a good captain, and he does the simple things but makes it look so easy, but does it so well that he can make a team just click like that. It's what you need in a team, really, I think. But Jordan Henderson for me as a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I think someone in the CDM role has gone on the radar. Like, obviously, the arguments all over Twitter is Rodri or Fabinho, which one of them is so good. But I think people are forgetting Wilfred Ndidi.
I mentioned him on Sunday in the podcast.
He's unreal in that Leicester team, and see Brendan Rodgers, he's bringing him off in the 70th minute to protect him because that's how much he means to that team. I can't really look past Henderson just because the season he had last season, he was the focal point in that centre mid role, skipper. Absolutely. And then obviously, like you said, Cam, without him, few games, look at the dip in form. He makes that team run, and he works hard as well. If you watch him for full 90 minutes, he gives it his all. And I think it's got to be Henderson this season.
Yeah, I'm the exact same, boys. Cam, we've got basically identical teams at the moment. I've gone for Jordan Henderson as well. I think what highlights it is, like you say, he's been injured for a bit of time, and look at the impact that has happened on the Liverpool side. You think you would ask a Liverpool fan a few years ago, when he first joined, that he's going to be captain and he maybe lift your first Premier League trophy. They would have laughed at me, or they would have laughed at you if you said that. But over the past 2-3 years, he has really stepped up. He was in and out of midfield and over the past few years, but certainly in the last 2-3 years, he has cemented a spot in that midfield. And if I'm Jurgen Klopp and he's fit, he's on the team sheet every week. He's in the starting 11. Like I say, Jordan Henderson. I don't think you can look past him. So I've gone for Jordan Henderson. Two attacking midfielders. We've gone for two attacking midfielders. I'll start off with this one. Two standouts for me are Kevin De Bruyne and James Maddison at Leicester.
Yeah.
De Bruyne, I think, would have snuck his way into the team last year had he not been injured for so long. I think this year it was an important year for him because obviously the season before last he was the main man at City, assists, goals, you name it. Last season he was injured. He had to step up this year. He had to have a big year, and he's done that. Some crucial goals. I think De Bruyne, for me, he's also a shout for Player of the Year. Obviously, we'll get onto that later on. And James Maddison at Leicester, you've heard big clubs sniffing about him, sniffing around him. I think he's quality. Very much like De Bruyne, creative, wants to get on the ball, wants to play his striker in like Vardy. I think you look at Vardy's goal tie this season. You can half fight if James Maddison doesn't play. I think most of Vardy's goals, he might not have got a direct assist, but Maddison's always involved somewhere. And he's always wanted to create play, always wanted to get on the ball. So for me, my two attackers, midfielders are De Bruyne and Maddison. What about you boys?
Go on, Ali.
Obviously, it's Kevin De Bruyne, in it. One of them cemented in there. Got to be De Bruyne. However, you've gone Maddison. I've gone his buddy rival Grealish.
Right.
I think this season, Villa are in the relegation zone, but Grealish, I think he's a starter for all teams in the Premier League. He's capable of that. He single-handedly runs games by himself. You see him for Villa, he might have the best teammates around him, and he knows that. So, whenever his centre-back, Mings, is on the ball, Engels, whoever you want there, he's running, sprinting, coming deep just to get on the ball to make things happen for his team. And that's it as well. You can play him out wide, and he's played in centre. Obviously, he's been out wide this season a lot, but I've still put him in the midfield role just because when he's on the ball, he's going to run at players. He's direct. None of this faffing about with passing it around the back. He's direct. He wants to score. He wants to assist. I think he's just been unreal this season.
Yeah.
Cam?
Yeah, well, I've gone for the same with Ollie. The partnership with Grealish and Kevin De Bruyne. I think Kevin De Bruyne, he's unreal. He can create something out of nothing whenever he needs to, whenever he wants to. It's just his crossing ability, his shooting ability. He just has it all. So I think he's superb. And I think Grealish he's unreal. I think him and Maddison are both great players, but I'd have to choose Grealish over Maddison just because I think he's in a similar position to how Pogba was a few seasons ago. He wasn't in the best team. He was still performing, but I think when Pogba was playing with the France national team, he was unreal. So I think if you put Grealish with a team who can play proper football, who can play really good football, entertaining, I think Grealish thrives in that, and I think that's why I've gone over for Grealish.
Yeah. I think that's fair enough. Right, we're on to the bit everyone likes to see is the attackers. Wingers, in terms of wingers, Ollie, you can start us off. Left, right wing.
Obviously, I've not gone with a left wing and a right wing because I think there's two. I've gone with two left wingers. One's been striker, but I've gone Rashford. He's been injured recently, but look at the start of the season to when he got injured. Look at how well he's performed. Stand out in that United team. Carried them in a few games. Single-handedly won them games. He's been absolutely unreal this season. He's been what we were hoping he was going to be last season. Last season didn't really kick on. Had quite an average year, but this season he's really shown what he's all about. And how he scores goals, absolute screamers. Unreal. And then for my other wing, I've gone with... it was a tough one. It was between Riyad Mahrez and the fella who I've chosen Sadio Mane just because stats, 14 goals, 7 assists. It's unreal. And then it's also when you watch him play. You watch Mane on the ball at 8, I think all right backs fear him.
Yeah.
His pace, he's good in the air, he's dribbling, shooting, he's got everything. But I think he's got to be in there this season. Salah, he's rivaling him, but I think it's clear to see. Everyone can agree it's Mane this season.
I think Mane's. I think head and shoulders above Salah, because I think I mentioned it on Sunday. I think if you put Mane in any team in the Premier League, he'll still perform. He'll still get goals and assists. Salah, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
But Cam, go on. What's your left wing, right wing?
Well, left wing, it's Sadio Mane for me. I think he's unreal. His ability, his power, his pace to run at defenders and just skin a fullback if he needs to, just to create that play. But I touched on it earlier as well. I love when he's getting back and winning the ball back to take some pressure off Robertson, and I think that's quality. And for the right hand side, I've gone Riyad Mahrez because I think, without a shadow of doubt, I think he's one of the best dribblers in the league. I think his technical ability is unbelievable, and I think his advantage is, I feel like you know what he's going to do, but it doesn't matter. It's just unstoppable, and that shows signs of a top class player, in my opinion. So the wingers for me are Sadio Mane and Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah. Saying Mane, touched on everything there. His quality, best attacker in the league, I'd say, best attacker in the league. And the left wing, I have actually included Grealish because Ollie did touch on it. He has played out wide a lot. And I couldn't, it's that debate, Maddison, Grealish. I couldn't not put them both in. So I've gone Grealish on the left wing. But I just think that shows how versatile he is. That Ollie's put him in at Cam, I've put him in at left wing. He can play literally anywhere. I think Villa would have been down and out by now if it wasn't for Jack Grealish.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think they'd be amongst it with Norwich and just waiting for the day to come where they're going to be mathematically impossible to be safe.
Yeah.
I think he'll leave in the summer. I said that on Sunday. Hopefully his destination's United. I don't know, but I think you look at this season, you look at his numbers, you look at, like you say, the way he plays. Jack Grealish left wing, I've gone for left, and then Mane on the right, even though they both do play left wing, but I've gone for same side. Yeah. Right, out and out number 9s. There's been a few this year.
Yeah,
look at
really has.
It's been quite close, and who scored at the top of the Golden Boot race. Who's chasing that down? There's a few contenders. I'm going to start it off. I've gone for Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
This season, turn of the year, 2020, you could argue it. But I just think with Vardy, I think you look at where Leicester are and you look at his goals, they're only there. Not they're only there. They're one of the big reasons they're there is because of Jamie Vardy. You take away him, you take away a large proportion of the goals. I also I think how he's improved the players around him as well. I think Maddison's improved because of it. Look at Nacho, who left City, been on the bench for a couple of years really at Leicester, struggled to find his way into the team. But when Rodgers has decided to go with the two up front, or Iheanacho's playing the cup game, they've really gelled together, and I think he's improved Iheanacho's game. So I think in terms of all around, I've gone for Vardy and look at his goals as well. And with Vardy, I think he's one of those people who goes under the radar in terms of one of the best Premier League strikers of all time. He's been doing it now since, when did Leicester win the league? 5 years ago?
15, 16.
4 or 5 years ago. He's been scoring consistently since then. But this season, my number 9, or my main striker is Jamie Vardy.
I've gone differently though. Like, obviously, top of the Golden Boot race, it's Aubameyang and Vardy, isn't it? But I've gone with Aubameyang just simply because take him out of Arsenal, like, what have they got? Absolutely nothing. Whereas Vardy, he was injured. He was injured, wasn't he, recently for a bit?
Yeah, I think so.
But Iheanacho stepped into his shoes and did well. Didn't really, results didn't dip without him. And then when he was in the team, obviously he went, 9 games without a goal?
Something like
that. But with Aubameyang, it's like whenever he plays, you know he's scoring. You can't stop him. He's unbelievable. And you've got to think as well, look, Vardy's got Maddison behind him, Tielemans. He's got Harvey Barnes on the wing, Jose Perez, all good players around him. Whereas Aubameyang, like, left wing for Arsenal, it's like Martinelli Young. He's not really he's good, but he's not there yet. And midfield, Xhaka, he's not providing what Maddison provides, is he?
Yeah,
it's donkey.
I'm going with Jamie Vardy as well. I love everything about him. I think you can always rely on him in a big game. I think.
Yeah.
I think his work rate's quality. He doesn't give the defenders a break at all. But I would like to give an honourable mention to Danny Ings because I also think he's been superb.
Calvert-Lewin as well.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of breakthrough plays this season, and Danny Ings for me, I think to do what he's done this season in a team like Southampton, which they aren't the best, they aren't a goal scoring team.
Yeah, no.
I think he's been unreal because he hasn't just been getting the goals against small teams, which obviously matter for a team like Southampton, but the goals against the big teams like Spurs, for example.
Yeah.
So
he's dipped recently though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Not been where he was earlier on in the season.
Yeah.
And with that, you've got Ings was obviously good at the start, maybe a few games in, but then Calvert-Lewin as well. I think he's there. Recently, he's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Give him a mention. Well, that's our team of the season so far. Now on to the awards. I've added in an extra couple as well, like most improved and ones to watch. But first of all, it's interesting to see what you say, because honestly, the other ones you can have a good guess who's going to be what. But goal of the season, you can never write it. Ollie, you go first. What have you gone for goal of the season?
Mate, obviously it might be a bit controversial because I'm a City fan, but De Bruyne's volley against Newcastle.
Unbelievable.
Chest it down, volley off the bar and in. I mean, at the time, what massive goal. Obviously, we ended up not picking up 3 points in the game.
Yeah.
But it was what looked like to be the winner. And obviously, it's in a big game. Just what a goal it was. Crossbar in, absolutely no chance for the keeper.
Yeah.
But obviously, I'm also thinking as well, I think De Bruyne has got it for me, but I think an honourable mention's Fabinho's against City.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The occasion.
Early on, no one's expecting it, and he's like, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm stepping up. I'll just stick one in the back of the net.
Yeah.
The occasion for that goal. It was a good goal as well.
Yeah.
Good strike.
Yeah.
I was also considering De Bruyne's volley against Newcastle because I mean you don't hit volleys much further than that, but I'm going to go with one under the radar, not because it's a bad goal, but because I think it was an unreal bit of skill, trickery. But Jordan Ayew, I think that goal he scored,
what a goal!
I think it was just unbelievable how it was to win the game, and he's just, in the dying minutes, he's just pulled off a skill that's sent defenders absolutely spinning, and he's just placed it in the back of the net. I think it's unreal. But I do think De Bruyne deserves an honourable mention.
I completely forgot about that goal. That is one. When I think of goal of the season, I think, like you're saying, like a 25, 30-yard screamer. You forget goals like that and the trickery. That's a fantastic one. See, for mine, he's getting a mention again. It's Jack Grealish against United.
Yeah.
What a goal.
I was actually at the game right behind the goal when that went in, and I'm thinking, it's going over. And then as it got closer and closer, and it bent into the top corner, from that angle it was at, it was near enough impossible. And to beat De Gea from there, you can say all you want about De Gea. He might not be... He makes the mistakes, but usually from a shot-stopping range, he's pretty decent. And when you keep him rooted to the spot, it's a good strike.
Yeah.
I've gone for that one. And I think Old Trafford, the stage, obviously, was all set for it.
Doesn't really get much better than that.
Yeah, I've gone for Grealish versus United.
Yeah. I mean, to have the confidence to pull it off is unbelievable.
Just proves how good he's been this season.
Yeah, just shows his quality.
Thriving.
Yeah. So that's our 3 goals of the season. I will try and leave a link in the description to all those goals to go and check them out. Manager of the season. Ollie, we were talking about this before we actually started recording. You said it's a no-brainer. I'm not too sure. So you kick it off, you start.
For me, I think you've just got to look what the team is, where they are in the league. Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
Came up. No one knew what they were going to be like. This new team, everyone thought easy 6 points in the season. home and away, smashing them. But look at them,
Yeah.
challenging for Champions League. Like, with the team as well, I think give any other manager that team, he might not do as well. But Chris Wilder knows how to get them like working together, and his system he plays the 5 at the back, overlapping centre backs.
I know, yeah.
What other team in the world can you see do that and it works as well as it has? For him? But obviously, Klopp's there as well because look how good he's done this season with Liverpool.
Yeah.
But I think he's been good recently.
I've gone for Wilder. I'm not sure about Cam, but I've gone for Wilder. But I also think you've got to give a special mention to Carlo Ancelotti at Everton, to be honest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Since he's come in, you can't give it him. You simply can't. He's not been there long enough. But I think you've got to give the credit to him. What he's done, how he's turned that Everton team around
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think before, I'm not sure the stat still stands, but before the season obviously came to a halt, nobody took more points since the turn of the years than Everton, other than Liverpool and City. So that just shows what a manager Ancelotti is. But I agree. For me, it's Chris Wilder, 100%.
Yeah. I'm also going with Chris Wilder. I think, like you say, Ellie, any other manager, I don't even think it's the case of they might not be known as well. I think they'll be struggling to fight the league. I'm not taking it away from the players at Sheffield United, but I think you've got to have the right tactics, and I think Chris Wilder's nailed that. But I also think Brendan Rodgers deserves a mention because I think what he's done at Leicester has been unbelievable. He's turned them into a Champions League fighting team and
strong fighting team as well.
Yeah, like they've cemented their place, I think, as a strong team that you're going to be fighting with the Champions League spot. So,
arguably even the title.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've all got pretty much agree on that one, Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
The third one, what I've added myself, is most improved. I'm going to start this off. I made this award really for one player. I only made it for this player, and it's Fred.
Yeah.
I think you can't not. I didn't think he was there to be put into the midfield of the team of the season because I don't think he's done enough to take over Henderson, take over De Bruyne, take over Maddison. But I think most improved Fred this season. Gary Neville, a quote that stays in my mind at the start of the season. He went, "I don't know what Fred is. He's not a runner. He's not a defender. He's not someone who's going to score you goals." I think he fits into the defender one now. I think his aggression in midfield is quite out of nowhere. You know, when you're spending 50-60 million pounds on a midfielder, you're expecting at least one of those categories. He fits that one. He fits that 100%.
Yeah.
And it just shows that people aren't flopped straight away. Like people are jumping on Nicolas Pepe's case. Hang on, look at Fred. Give him a year. Give him a bit. Most improved have gone for Fred. What about you boys?
I've also gone with Fred because I just think what I like him about the most is so many people went against him straight away, and he should prove them all wrong because I don't know anyone who doesn't like Fred anymore. I think he's just he's a fan favourite. Same with like Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. Everyone loves him. But I also would like to say Adama Traore has really came into his own this season.
Yeah.
He's been unbelievable. Just his ability, his confidence to actually run at people because we know we can do it, but there was too many games last season where he didn't do it enough, and I think he's really starting to use his best attributes this season. Yeah. So but it is Fred for me.
I've got 3 on my list this season for this season most improved. Adama Traore, like you said, Cam. Look at him last season. Wasn't even a starter for Wolves. Now he's cemented his spot in that right wing position. If you're a left back, if you give say Robertson, say arguably the best left back in the league this season, say who he'd least rather go up against this season, I think it would be Adama Traore.
Yeah.
Because it's not even his technical ability. He's scary. He's big. He's rapid. He's strong.
Yeah,
he's
he'll
just
blow you off the
scary
ball
to play against. Yeah, and whereas look at him last season, like push him over easily.
Yeah.
And then someone else is in there. Obviously, Fred. I won't touch on that too much because you boys have already gone into detail with it. But he's been unreal this season. But then for me, who I'm actually going to go with is Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah.
Last season,
Yeah.
He was
Last
also
game of the season, he was awesome. I think that was the start of this. But last season, everyone was calling like having a go at City for signing, saying they've ruined his career, ruined him, wasting money. He's sitting on the bench for nothing, taking a poor wage. This season, any team in the Prem would take him at this rate.
Oh yeah,
100%.
He's unreal.
I think Kovacic deserves a mention as well, because
Kovacic,
I love the way he's not changed the role of a midfielder, but I love the way he uses his ability. I love the way he can dribble out of a bad situation and put one of their strikers through on goal. I just love the way he gets out of sticky situations and makes the most out of it. So
he's very well rounded, and he can tackle. And I'm sorry, his dribbling ability. Oh,
it's unreal.
He's rapid on the ball.
Yeah.
Right, on to Young Player of the Year and Player of the Year. We'll talk about these probably together. My two, mentioned them previously. Young player, Trent. There's a lot of young players, but for me, you just can't look past him. Trent, Player of the Year, I've gone for De Bruyne. It was between De Bruyne and Jordan Henderson. But I think just because of his numbers, really, I've gone for De Bruyne, which probably isn't the best. But for me, at the end of the day, goals win you football matches. And he's racked up more than Henderson. So that's the reason why I've gone for him. And I was talking like impact on a team, Henderson would take that trophy home straight away.
Do you reckon, though?
Yeah, and I think he will get it if there will be an award ceremony, when the award ceremony is, whether that's in 3 weeks' time or in 3 months' time. I think Henderson will probably go home with that trophy. But in terms of goals, assists, moments, De Bruyne is my Player of the Year, and Young Player of the Year will be touched on. Trent is what he does as a fullback. Is ridiculous. So yeah, Young Player of the Year. I don't think you can look past Trent. I don't think you can look past Trent for the next few years if he continues to go the way he is. So yeah, they're my two.
For me, I don't know. The thing is, it's actually funny. I completely forgot about Trent. I forgot he's not.
Me too.
He's so young, but
I think he's so mature as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you don't realise how young he actually is. Like, he wasn't even in my mind. He didn't cross my mind when I was thinking this. I've got 3 down. The one who I wouldn't say he's close, but obviously he needs more time is Bukayo Saka. He's been real.
He's been quality.
I've got 2 here that I think consistently through the season they've been unreal. It's Cantwell and Grealish. Because obviously you have to be 23, don't you? Below 24, and he was 23 at the start of the season, Grealish, so he is there. But I think for me it's Grealish, just because look, he's a world class player in an Aston Villa side.
Yeah,
and then Cantwell, like I know it's Norwich and it's like they're not doing the greatest, but on his day he is unbelievable. He's unplayable. So good.
Yeah, I agree. Young Player of the Year. I also forgot about Trent, but if I'm perfectly honest, I think it's Marcus Rashford for me. I think I think he's been unreal. You can't fault him. I think he's been too good this season to not deserve it, like an award or something. I think he's been top class, and I feel like in that month of December when games were racking up and we needed the most against City and Spurs, and he came through, and that's what we needed from him, and he's just been unreal. So yeah, Marcus Rashford for me.
Cam, can you see that, like, you know how obviously we don't know what's happening when this award ceremony will be? Rashford might not play for the rest of the season, so I feel like it's unfair on him. Like, if you're basing it right now, say award ceremony's tomorrow, I think Rashford definitely there, but if it's later on in the season and he hasn't played, he's not there.
Yeah, I think it's very dependent on how the season plays out, but I think Rashford is definitely there.
You've got to look at it as well. If the season doesn't start until mid-June, Rashford's going to be back from an injury, so he's going to play the rest of that season. So he's probably going to get more games in as if it was stopped now. So
he's been so unfortunate that he's been injured at the time.
But he's also been fortunate because the Euro's been postponed till next year, as of Kane. So
I'm so happy Kane's playing.
No real rush. Player of the Year, Ollie, you didn't get to that. Who have you gone for player? In fact, neither of you got to Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Who's your Player of the Year? I've said mine.
I didn't. To be honest, I just didn't really need to say anything about it, so I probably just rushed over it. But it's De Bruyne in it.
Yeah, it's the same for me. It's just Kevin De Bruyne.
I'm sorry, but He's unreal. I don't even think Henderson's there. Like, yeah, he's been good, but player of the season in the Premier League, you're looking at the bright players, the players that bring something to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at it that way.
Another player, I think Mane, Firmino, Salah, Aguero, Mahrez, they all come before Henderson for me.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
And Kevin De Bruyne also.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne, he's unstoppable this season, and I think when he's fit, like I think last season it would have been the same outcome if he didn't have that unfortunate injury. But he's just unstoppable, isn't he? You can't not make Kevin De Bruyne have a quiet game or not perform the best.
And even when you make him have a quiet game, he's still going to score.
Exactly.
Assist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the one that I've only added about probably half an hour before we started the recording is ones to watch. And this doesn't mean necessarily they can be young, they can be any age, they could be a new signing, but someone who's on the rise, someone who's maybe had a decent season, and you have bright things for the future and seasons going ahead. So, ones to watch. Cam will come to you straight away. If you've got a couple, that's fine. Just
yeah. Well, I've got two. I've got one that is actually in the Prem, and I've got one who's not in it but will be in it next season. I've got Bergwijn and Hakim Ziyech because
yes,
I think Bergwijn. I mean, against City, I think he couldn't have started off a better way, could he?
No.
Quality goal. I think there's lots more to come from him. And Hakim Ziyech, we've seen his quality at Ajax. I think we all know the player he can be. We saw it in the Champions League against Chelsea in the group stage at Stamford Bridge. He was unreal that night. Scored a great free kick. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it went down for a no goal by Kepa. But even in the Champions League last season, like he was such a pivotal role in that team. And although they went on to lose the game, that goal against Spurs in the semi-final was unreal. Just to pull that out and just absolutely fire
semi-final
a rocket.
The biggest stage.
Yeah, it was just unreal. But yeah, them two for me.
For me, obviously, there's a few because obviously there's going to be a lot. The main one for me is Nicola Pepe. One of you's touched on it. One of you's touched on it before, saying like, I think when you're talking about Fred, give him a year.
Yeah, 100%.
Next season, I can promise you this, he's going to be unreal.
Yeah.
He's going to be... And another person I've gone with, obviously, 1 month of being in the Premier League, you see what he's bringing, is Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Next season, he's challenging for Player of the Year. Look, he's unreal. And then, obviously... But another one I've gone with is Sterling. He's had his downs this season. Recently, especially, but look at him last season at the start of this season. If he can play like that again, next season he's going to be back to where he was. Unreal. And then obviously, I've also got Harvey Barnes, Foden, and Reece James. Them three, they're all young, but Foden particularly is one I want to touch on because obviously, sad news, David Silva's leaving. And I maybe played his last game for City, which is sad to think, really. But Foden, he's got big shoes to fill, but I think he's capable of it.
Yeah.
Watch him play. Like Pep Guardiola said, it's his favourite player to work with in training. He just shows. Like people say, "Oh, he's crap, But if you actually, as a City fan, watch him play, you appreciate how good he is, for how young he is.
I think that's a huge boost from him. Yeah, if you think about the players that Pep's worked with as well, the likes of Messi and De Bruyne, and just other players like them who are just the best at what they do. Yeah. If you're receiving that compliment, not only does it show Foden's a quality player, but also gives him that confidence. Because, in my opinion, I think Foden's going to be a real quality player for City soon, and I think Pep's done the right thing for his career, just drip feeding him.
Yeah, 100%. Mine is you've not mentioned him. I've got two. The first one is a young lad. I've gone for Gabriel Martinelli.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've gone for Martinelli because I think Ollie mentioned it earlier. I think he's got potential. I don't think he's been given a chance as much this year, but his goal away at Chelsea sums it up for me.
Yeah.
Start of the season, he was getting little games in European competitions, in the Carabao Cup. He was scoring every time you give him a chance. I think with Martinelli, he's one of those is he is going to be a good player. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
He's kicking on next season.
The good thing with Martinelli is he's in an Arsenal side that he probably is one of the best attackers there. So he's not saying guaranteed to start, but he's got more of a chance to start than if he was at City or Liverpool, because you've got these attackers above you. I think with him being at Arsenal, it maybe isn't the worst thing for his career, because he can kick on there, and then maybe in a few years, you don't know what's going to happen. Real Madrid, Barcelona, these bigger clubs, Liverpool, City, United, Chelsea might come knocking. But no, Martinelli. And the next one, I mentioned him on Sunday. I think he's class. I think he'll be in the Premier League next year with Villa, not with Villa. I've gone for John McGinn.
Yes,
I'm obsessed with John McGinn. I think he's been unfortunate. I think towards back end of the season, because he had an injury, he's not managed to play a lot. But I think John McGinn is a really, really good footballer, really tidy. So I think John McGinn's one to watch out for, whether he's with Villa or whether he's with someone else. I think he's too good not to be in the Premier League next year.
Yeah. I want to give a mention to Alan St. Maximin as well, because word, what a player he's turning out to be. And I wish he was I wish he had kick-started his season at the very start, because I feel like if he had started that season, first game of the season against Arsenal at home, I think it would have been an unreal season for him. Don't get me wrong, he's been unbelievable, but I think next season you're going to see what he can just do, and I think he'll be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right, boys, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks for coming on. Good chat there. Good chat for about an hour. So, that was the second episode of Isolation Football. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Keep an eye out for future videos that will be coming up on YouTube during this horrible period. But in the meantime, stay safe, and I hope to see you all soon.